There's a certain type of woman who transforms entire spaces without speaking a single word. She doesn't need to raise her voice to be heard, doesn't need to prove herself to be respected, doesn't need to chase to be desired. Her presence communicates something that most people have spent their entire lives trying to fake. And if you're watching this video right now, chances are you're exactly this type of woman, but you haven't fully recognized the power you carry yet. Because women with truly powerful auras don't walk around announcing their strength, they simply radiate it, and the world around them reorganizes itself in response to that magnetic frequency they naturally emanate. I need you to understand something fundamental right from the start. A powerful aura has nothing to do with aggression, manipulation, mind games, or pretending to be someone you're not. In fact, it's the exact opposite. The most powerful aura a woman can have comes from total alignment between who she is on the inside and what she manifests on the outside. It's internal coherence becoming external magnetism. It's personal truth vibrating so high that it cuts through walls, transcends words, and touches people at levels they can't even consciously name. And when a woman develops this quality of presence, she doesn't attract just anyone. She attracts exactly the people and experiences that resonate with her authentic frequency, including, and perhaps especially, her twin flame. Today, I'm going to reveal the 7 secret signs that only women with truly powerful auras possess. And when I say secret, I'm not talking about something intentionally hidden, but characteristics so subtle that only 5% of women develop enough awareness to recognize them in themselves. And if you stay until the end, you'll discover the most important sign of all, the one that definitively separates women who merely seem powerful from those who actually are. So take a deep breath, because what I'm about to share could completely change how you see yourself and how you allow the world to see you. But first, you need to understand exactly what it means to have a truly powerful aura, because there's massive confusion about this. Most people think a powerful aura is about dominating environments, being the loudest person in the room, constantly commanding attention. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The most powerful aura that exists is the one you feel before you even see the person. It's that presence that arrives before the body, that lingers after the person leaves, that leaves an imprint without needing to make noise. Think about how many times you've encountered someone who barely said anything, but you felt that person's force in an almost physical way. Or that woman who walked into the room and without doing anything performative whatsoever, everyone noticed she was there. That's a powerful aura. It's an energy field so aligned, so coherent, so true, that it literally reorganizes the space around it. And science has already proven this isn't imagination, that we actually emit electromagnetic fields that affect the environment and people nearby. Studies show that our heart emits an electromagnetic field that can be detected from several feet away, and that this field changes completely depending on our internal emotional state. So when you're completely aligned with your truth, when there's no contradiction between who you are inside and what you manifest outside, your energy field becomes cohesive, powerful, magnetic. And people feel this even without rationally understanding what they're feeling. Some will feel drawn to you like you're a magnet. Others will feel uncomfortable because your light reveals the shadows they prefer to keep hidden. But nobody stays indifferent. And that's exactly why women with truly powerful auras are often misunderstood, judged, isolated, because the world doesn't quite know what to do with someone who shines in this authentic way without asking permission. And here's something you may have never considered. You might have a powerful aura and not know it yet. You might be carrying this natural magnetism, but have suppressed it your entire life because you learned that women shouldn't shine too bright, shouldn't take up too much space, shouldn't rock the boat. So you made yourself smaller, dimmed your frequency to fit in, to be accepted, to not threaten fragile egos around you. And maybe today you don't even recognize this power anymore because it's buried under layers of conditioning. But it's there. And these 7 signs I'm about to reveal will show you exactly where to look, will help you recognize what's always been in you waiting to be consciously reclaimed. The first secret sign of a woman with a powerful aura is that she's completely stopped explaining herself to people who aren't ready to understand her. This doesn't mean she's become arrogant or inaccessible. It means she's developed a rare energetic wisdom. She understands that some people simply don't have the necessary frequency to grasp her truth. And spending energy trying to make herself understood by them is a waste that diminishes her vibration. Ordinary women live trapped in the compulsive need to justify themselves, to prove their worth, to convince others that their choices make sense. They spend hours explaining why they ended that relationship, why they chose that career path, why they distance themselves from certain friendships, why they don't fit into the standards society expects of them. But a woman with a powerful aura has completely transcended this phase. She's made decisions aligned with her internal truth, and no longer feels the need for external validation to sustain those choices. When someone questions her decisions with judgment energy disguised as concern, she doesn't take the bait. She simply smiles, keeps her inner peace intact, and continues on her path. Because she knows something most people never learn: the people who truly matter, those who vibrate on the same frequency, understand her choices without needing long explanations. And those who don't understand won't understand even if you spend years trying to justify yourself. Because their lack of understanding isn't about missing information, it's about difference in vibrational frequency. This has profound implications for the twin flame journey. Because when you're in this intense and inexplicable connection, you're going to encounter people around you who simply won't get it. Friends will question why you don't give up on someone who seems so complicated. Family will suggest you're obsessed, that you should move on, that you're wasting your time. And if you're still caught in the need to explain yourself, you'll exhaust yourself trying to make them understand a connection that completely transcends common logic. But a woman with a powerful aura who's on a twin flame journey doesn't waste energy on these explanations. She knows this connection operates in dimensions that only those living it can truly comprehend. And she protects this truth instead of throwing it out to be judged by those who don't have eyes to see. This capacity not to explain also manifests in strategic silence. Women with powerful auras have mastered the art of conscious silence. They know when to speak and when to simply observe. They don't feel the need to fill every empty space with words. They're comfortable in silence because their presence speaks louder than any speech. And this silence, paradoxically, makes them far more magnetic than women who talk compulsively, trying to prove something. Because her silence isn't empty. It's filled with a presence so dense that people around her feel it even without being able to name what they're feeling. It's a quiet strength that doesn't diminish itself to make others comfortable, but also doesn't show off to impress. The second secret sign is that she's completely transformed her relationship with solitude. For most women, being alone is something to be avoided at all costs. They fill their calendars with commitments, maintain relationships that no longer nourish them, accept mediocre company just to avoid facing the emptiness of being with themselves. But a woman with a powerful aura has made a revolutionary discovery. Solitude isn't emptiness, it's sacred space. It's in the silence of her own company that she connects with deep layers of herself, that the noise of the external world always covered up. It's alone that she hears the voice of her intuition without interference, that she processes emotions without needing to perform for any audience, that she reconnects with her essence without the masks she wears in social contexts. This transformation in the relationship with solitude doesn't happen overnight. It usually comes after difficult periods where she was forced by circumstances to be alone. Maybe after a painful breakup. Maybe after distancing herself from social circles that no longer resonated with who she was becoming. Maybe after moving cities or going through some significant loss. And in the beginning, that solitude burned like fire. She felt the weight of silence, confronted all the internal ghosts that external noise kept dormant, crossed through nights where the lack of company seemed unbearable. But she didn't run. She took a deep breath and remained present with herself, even when every cell in her body screamed for her to seek any external distraction. And it was exactly in this conscious permanence in solitude that the alchemy happened. What was once frightening emptiness transformed into silent fullness. What was lack transformed into emotional self-sufficiency. She discovered that she didn't need anyone else to feel complete, that her own company wasn't just sufficient, it was absolutely necessary to maintain her sanity and clarity. And when this transformation completes, something extraordinary happens. She stops attracting people out of neediness and starts attracting out of conscious choice. Her energy stops emitting that desperate frequency of, I need someone to complete me, and starts radiating, I'm complete, and I choose to share my completeness with those who resonate with me. This changes absolutely everything in twin flame dynamics. Because one of the most destructive traps in this journey is when the divine feminine chases the divine masculine from a place of lack, trying to use the union to fill a void that only she can fill in herself. But when she's developed this transformed relationship with solitude, when she genuinely doesn't need him anymore to feel whole, the energetic dynamic completely inverts. She stops chasing and starts radiating. And it's exactly this frequency shift that creates the magnetic field that naturally draws the divine masculine back. Not through manipulation, but through authentic energetic resonance. The third secret sign is that she's developed an almost supernatural ability to perceive energetic lies, even when the words sound convincing. Women with powerful auras don't get fooled easily because they don't just listen with their ears, they listen with their whole body. They catch the micro-expressions that reveal incongruence between what's being said and what's being felt. They sense when someone's energy is contracted even though the person is smiling. They notice when something being offered comes with hidden agendas, even though it's wrapped in beautiful words. This isn't paranoia or pathological distrust. It's sharpened sensitivity combined with life experience that taught her that not everyone who smiles is a friend, not everyone who offers help has good intentions, not every opportunity that glitters is gold. She developed this perception through painful mistakes from the past. There were moments where she believed beautiful words and ignored the energetic signals her body was sending. There were situations where she wanted so badly to believe someone was real that she suppressed her own intuition, screaming that something was wrong. And she paid high prices for these choices to ignore her internal perception in favor of comfortable external illusions. But every mistake transformed into wisdom. Every disappointment refined her capacity for discernment. And now she trusts the feeling in her gut more than the most eloquent words. If something sounds beautiful but feels wrong, she chooses the feeling. Always. This ability to read energies is particularly crucial on the twin flame journey, because this connection comes accompanied by so much emotional intensity that can easily cloud discernment. It's easy to romanticize problematic behaviors when you feel such a strong soul connection. It's tempting to ignore energetic red flags because you want so badly to believe that person is your destined other half. But a woman with a powerful aura doesn't sacrifice her perception on the altar of spiritual romanticism. She can simultaneously honor the depth of the connection and keep her eyes wide open to the person's real behavioral patterns. She doesn't use the idea of twin flames as an excuse to tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, or emotional manipulation. She knows that true soul connection doesn't nullify personal responsibility and emotional maturity. The fourth secret sign is that she no longer fears disappointing people who aren't walking in the same direction as her. This is perhaps one of the strongest indicators of truly powerful aura, because it breaks one of the deepest feminine conditionings, the need to please, to be a good girl, to keep everyone happy, even if it means betraying herself. Society trains women from childhood to be compliant, to put others' needs before their own, to measure their worth by others' approval. And breaking this conditioning requires an inner courage that most never develop. But a woman with a powerful aura has walked through the fire of choosing herself, even when it disappointed people she loved. She said no to relationships that no longer served, even knowing it would hurt someone. She distanced herself from friendships that became toxic, even knowing she'd be misunderstood. She chose paths that resonated with her soul, even when those paths made no sense to anyone around her. And every time she chose her truth above others' approval, her aura strengthened. Because energetic integrity isn't built by agreeing with everyone. It's built by having the courage to displease when necessary. This doesn't mean she's become insensitive or cruel. She still has empathy, still genuinely cares about people, still prefers harmony over conflict when possible. But she won't diminish herself, silence herself, or betray herself anymore to maintain false peace. She learned that some disappointments are necessary, that some people need to be disappointed so she can live authentically. And she's made peace with that. She understood it's not her responsibility to manage functional adults' emotions, that each person is responsible for processing their own reactions, that she can't live her life trying to be everything to everyone, because in the end she'll be nothing to anyone, not even herself. In twin flame dynamics, this sign manifests in a very specific way. She stops contorting herself to be what she thinks he wants her to be. She stops hiding parts of herself fearing he won't accept them. She stops walking on eggshells trying not to displease. She shows who she really is, with all her complexities, her shadows, her lights, her contradictions. And if he can't handle her wholeness, she understands that says more about his readiness than about her worth. She'd rather be loved for who she really is than adored for who she's pretending to be. And this preference for authenticity above approval creates irresistible magnetism. The fifth secret sign is that she's completely transformed her relationship with time and stopped living in the anxious urgency that consumes most people. We live in a society obsessed with speed, with instant results, with quick wins. And women are particularly pressured by arbitrary social timelines. You should be married by a certain age, should have kids before it's too late, should have reached a certain professional level in a certain time frame. But a woman with a powerful aura has completely exited this race against imaginary clocks. She understood her life doesn't need to follow the script society wrote. She operates in a different time, a more organic time, more aligned with her internal cycles than external expectations. This transformation in the relationship with time usually happens after much struggle and resistance. There were moments where she too felt desperate watching friends reach milestones she hadn't reached yet. There were nights where she wondered if she was behind, if she'd missed opportunities, if she should be somewhere else in life. But at some point, tired of comparing and pressuring herself, she made a radical choice: to trust her own journey's timing. She decided to stop measuring her progress by others' standards and start honoring the unique rhythm of her own unfolding. And when she stops fighting against time, when she surrenders to her life's natural flow instead of forcing things to happen before the right moment, something magical occurs. Time stops being enemy and becomes ally. She realizes that many things she thought she wanted in earlier moments would have been disastrous if they'd happened at that timing. That she wasn't ready, that she needed to cross through certain experiences first to develop the necessary maturity. She starts trusting there's a greater intelligence orchestrating her life, that apparent delays are actually protections, that what's truly hers will arrive at the right moment, neither before nor after. This trust in divine timing is absolutely essential on the twin flame journey because this is one of the most patience-testing connections that exists. The connection's intensity makes it seem like union should happen immediately, but the real timing often involves years of separation, of individual inner work, of necessary maturing before both are ready to sustain union on the physical plane. And women who haven't developed this trust in greater timing end up consuming themselves in anxiety, trying to force union before it's time, chasing, manipulating, trying to control variables that are completely out of their reach. But a woman with a powerful aura who's developed this transformed relationship with time can maintain her peace even in uncertain waiting. She trusts that if this union is meant to happen, it will happen when both are truly ready. And meanwhile, she lives fully, she grows, she becomes more and more the complete version of herself each day. The sixth secret sign is that she doesn't confuse kindness with weakness, and has developed the capacity to be simultaneously compassionate and firm in her boundaries. Many women fall into one of two extremes. Either they're sweet but boundaryless, allowing people to disrespect them in the name of love and understanding, or they're hard and defensive, building walls so high that nobody can genuinely get close. But a woman with a powerful aura has found the rare balance between these polarities. She has a soft heart. She's capable of great empathy and compassion. She can see the humanity in people even when they're behaving in problematic ways. But at the same time, she has a spine of steel. She knows exactly how far she allows someone to go, and when that line gets crossed, she acts with absolute firmness. This capacity to maintain clear boundaries without becoming cold or closed comes from a long process of learning where her responsibilities end and where others' responsibilities begin. She probably went through phases where she took on emotional responsibility for everyone, where she tried to save people who weren't asking to be saved, where she emptied herself trying to fill others' voids. And she burned deeply in that process. She learned the hardest way that she can't carry others' emotional weight without destroying herself in the process. So she established boundaries, first timidly, then with more firmness, until it became natural for her to say no with love, but with unshakable clarity. The real power of this ability lies in the capacity to maintain boundaries without needing to over-justify or feel guilty. When she says no, it's no. When she communicates that certain behavior isn't acceptable to her, it's non-negotiable. But she doesn't need to be aggressive or dramatic to communicate this. Her firmness comes from such a rooted place that it dispenses with aggression. It's like a mountain. It doesn't need to yell to show it's unshakable, it simply is. And people sense this quality in her. They sense they can approach, that she's accessible and loving, but they also clearly sense there's a point where she doesn't move, and that crossing that point has real consequences. On the twin flame journey, this capacity is crucial, because the connection's intensity often comes accompanied by behaviors that test boundaries. The runner may disappear and reappear without explanations, may send mixed signals, may approach intensely, and then pull away coldly. And a woman without clear boundaries will tolerate this behavior indefinitely, will convince herself that true love requires unconditional acceptance of any treatment. But a woman with a powerful aura loves deeply and simultaneously demands basic respect. She can understand he's struggling with his own wounds, can have compassion for his process, but she won't allow his process to disrespect or diminish her. She clearly communicates what she accepts and what she doesn't. And if he can't honor those minimum boundaries, she steps away, not out of cruelty, but out of radical self-love. The seventh and final secret sign, the most important of all, is that she finally understood her powerful aura isn't something she needs to build or conquer through techniques and external strategies. She realized she always had this power, but it was hidden under layers and layers of social conditioning, of unhealed wounds, of masks created to survive in a world that often didn't honor her truth. The work wasn't to build a powerful aura. It was to remove everything that was blocking the natural expression of this force that always existed in her. It was a process of subtraction, not addition. It was about releasing patterns that weren't hers, abandoning limiting beliefs that were implanted by external voices, liberating traumas that kept her energy contracted. When she understood this, when she stopped trying to become powerful and simply started removing what blocked her natural power, everything changed. She stopped following formulas, copying other women who seemed to have discovered the secret, consuming infinite content about how to be magnetic. She started looking inward, specifically identifying what was blocking her authentic expression, doing the real inner work of processing old emotions, integrating rejected parts of herself, forgiving painful experiences that kept her stuck in low frequencies. And each layer removed revealed more of the light that was always there. This understanding completely transforms the pursuit of personal development, because it's no longer about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming more fully who you always were before the world taught you to be something else. It's a journey of return, not arrival. It's a process of remembering, not learning. You're not trying to create something new. You're cleaning the dirt that covered the diamond that always existed at the center of your being. And when you operate from this understanding, you stop comparing yourself with other women because you understand that her power is unique and yours is unique, that there's no competition because each is expressing a different facet of the divine feminine. On the twin flame journey, this final understanding changes absolutely everything because you realize you're not trying to become worthy of him. You already are worthy. You always have been. You're not trying to transform yourself into someone he'll finally value. You're simply clearing the blocks that prevented your truth from shining completely. And when you shine in your total truth, you don't need to convince him of anything. Your energy speaks for you. You become so magnetically aligned with your essence that he feels this shift even from miles away, even without contact, because soul connection operates in dimensions that transcend the physical. If you recognized yourself in several or all of these signs, understand you didn't get here by accident. Your soul brought you to this message because you're at a turning point in your journey. You're ready to fully claim your power instead of continuing to make yourself smaller to fit into others' expectations. You're ready to stop chasing and start radiating. You're ready to live from your total truth, even if that means walking alone for a while. Because you've already understood that conscious solitude is infinitely better than company that requires you to betray yourself. And if you want to deepen this transformation even further, if you're truly committed to removing the blocks that still prevent your aura from shining completely, I've created special materials for you. The first is the 21-day transformation program, a day-by-day structured guide to do the deep integration work that truly awakens your magnetic presence. It's 21 days of specific practices that will guide you through the process of clearing conditioning layers, integrating your shadows, and completely aligning your internal energy with your external manifestation. 21 days is exactly the time needed to start creating new energetic patterns, so this transformation becomes part of who you are, and not just another beautiful concept you understood intellectually, but didn't live. And because I know the journey isn't linear, because I know there will be days where you'll feel like you're regressing, where the temptation to return to old patterns will seem irresistible, I created the Soul Survival Manual. This material is your support for difficult days, for moments where you need practical reminders of who you really are, of how to keep your frequency high even when everything around seems to be trying to pull you down. It's your emergency guide, your anchor point when the ground seems to be giving way. And for those specifically on a twin flame journey, I created the ebook on how to manifest the twin flame. But attention, this material only works when you've already done the work of becoming whole first. You can't correctly manifest this union before aligning with your own completeness, because what you'll manifest is more of the same lack pattern. But when you're vibrating at the right frequency, when your aura is powerful and aligned, this material shows you exactly how to consciously work with the connection's energy without falling into old pursuit patterns. Now, I want to know who truly understood this video's deep message. Who's ready to stop making herself smaller and start fully occupying the space that was always hers? Write in the comments. I am a woman with a powerful aura. This isn't just an affirmation. It's an energetic declaration that anchors this truth in the physical world. It's you consciously reclaiming the power that was always yours, but that you may have been afraid to fully assume. And if this video touched something deep in you, if you felt these words were spoken specifically for your soul, subscribe to the channel because I'll be sharing so much more truth about how women awaken their magnetic power and attract not through effort, but through pure essence. Your transformation journey is just beginning, and I'll be here walking every step of this path with you. See you in the next video, where we'll explore even more deeply the mysteries of the awakened divine feminine.